Okay, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and I have a lot to say, so I'm going to wait for my pictures to appear here, and I'll get started. All right, here we go. Cool. So first thing I wanted to cover is just if you're not familiar with Broadcom, we're considered one of the largest AI growth companies right now, according to Wall Street. We're projecting revenues of about $50 billion this year. I'm part of the VMware software division, and we're the largest software piece in Broadcom. All right, that's interesting enough, but here's where it gets, I think, probably a little bit more interesting. We had our leadership offsite last week, and this is my leadership team. As an organization, we're roughly 40% women today, and thank you. It gets better. As we count underrepresented minorities, that takes women and underrepresented minorities make up about 50%, and that's almost 90% software engineers. So that's the organization demographic. All right, it's going to get better. So here's the leadership team, and just to kind of go through, what does the org structure look like? I'm going to talk about how we got there, but I just wanted you to see where we're at today and call out a couple of the key team members. Sujata Banerjee is an IEEE fellow. That represents 0.1% of IEEE members, and she leads research. Talking about organic promotion and doing it the right way, as Nate had shared, when Sujata got promoted to head of research, the entire research organization stood up and clapped. And that's what you want, right? That's pretty amazing. Tasha Drew leads product engineering. Our engineering offices are in Bangalore, they're in Bulgaria, they're in the US in places like Palo Alto and Austin. And that's the largest organization that we have as far as AI is concerned. And what this group is doing is building AI and advanced services for the company. So these are new product features, new AI capabilities that we sell to our customers, as well as embedding AI into other core business functions such as customer support. I think the other different part about us as an innovation team is we also operate the AI services for the company. So that gives us a really interesting purview in terms of what works, what doesn't work, what open source projects have traction, and things like that. Okay, so how did we get here? Let's kind of get into that a little bit. Oftentimes when you're looking at bringing women into senior leadership roles or changing the culture, I think the mistake a lot of male leaders make is, I just need to hire a couple of women in senior roles and that fixes the problem. But it doesn't, right? It might look good in front of the board, but it doesn't solve the problem. You have to look to add talent at all levels of the organization. And this is really key. Like, our transformation focused on the funnel. It focused on making sure there was opportunity at every part of the organization so that when people look, they're seeing upward mobility anywhere they look around the organization, and that's really mattered. Now, how did we get there? This was definitely a journey for us. And when we start to look at interviews and hiring, one thing that happened in our organization was during the Great Recession, no one left. Our entire leadership team stayed. And the reason is what we like to say is, you can beat us on comp as an organization. You'll find another company that'll pay you more, but I'll be damned if you're going to beat us on culture. That's why they stayed. Now, when we look at interviewing, one thing we always made sure we do is we make sure that you always have diverse representation in the hiring process. And there's a couple of questions we want to look for. First is cultural fit. Do you believe in what we believe in? Do you believe in diverse opinions and diverse thought and diverse backgrounds leading to better innovation breakthroughs? That's key. The second thing is, can you add to the conversation? Are you showing up with original thought, not just parroting what you heard from somebody else? Those things matter. But then the other thing is breaking ties. What happens when you have two really good candidates? For us, if there's two candidates that are tied, we prioritize the diverse hire. And I'm not going to apologize for that. It's the right thing to do, and that's what's led us to where we are today. Okay, a couple more things. Being an open book is super important. Being transparent in everything that you do. And the way that we like to achieve that is through Friday office hours. We have a standing Zoom. Doesn't matter if you're local, remote, or whatever. Anybody can join, and it's an open AMA every other week is what we currently run it. Which, as a leader of an organization, it can be terrifying to have an open ANA, right? But again, it's the right thing to do so people always know where they stand in the organization, what we're working on, and what the priorities are. Now, next, be an ally. And this is one thing that Nate said that really stuck with me. It's easy for a male leader to be an ally and come out to SheTech, right? Of course, we can show up, we can learn a couple things. But you have to be an ally, especially when it's uncomfortable. In that moment, when that toxicity happens, you have to shut it down there. So people know that you're not implicitly thinking it's okay. All right. I always have a hard time presenting this slide because this is my daughter. And I want my org chart to be normal for her future. And to do that, just because things didn't always work out that well in the past, doesn't mean they can't be different. We need to look at the world through our children's eyes, challenge those conventional assumptions, and really lead in a positive way and do things differently. Thank you very much. Appreciate the time.